Well, hello, good morning, welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and we're back on our junk journal July. Now, it's actually the 20th of July, so we should be down here, but of course we did these couple in between. So I'm actually on what is listed as 17, which is listed as pools. So let's just do a little line there. Now, I thought about this, and to me, pause is, you know, to stop and take a breath and reconsider. So, when is that most needed? Well, to me, that's probably most needed around Christmas time. And this has got this sort of Christmas theme, because I was using those papers that I'd just done. So I've brought along, my Sears book, and I thought we could maybe look at some things in there that you might be shopping for to gift. And I've also got this old cookery book, because I think, you know, one of the things we do at Christmas is obviously lots of cooking and things. So I'm going to start in here and see what I can find. As you can see, it's well thumbed and used. So I want, oh look, now this is actually gardening and groceries, so that might be really good background page. So I think we'll use that as our background image for this prompt. It's not a huge page, is it? It's one of our small ones. Sorry, I haven't got enough desk space, have I? So we're not going to use much of it, but I think I'll probably start at the bottom and work up to there. So if I get my tear ruler and just line that up about there, because then we could use that again on another occasion. And we're going to top of the page there. I've probably got my head in the screen, sorry. There we go. So we've got a pile of groceries and things that we may be buying there. And then I thought if we could have a look in here and let's see, can we find, is there an index? There's lots of lovely adverts. I have actually scanned these adverts. They were in my Etsy shop, but I'm not talking to Etsy at the moment, as you may be aware. So I'm in the process of moving things over to my Ko-fi. I don't know if they've made it over there yet. Ah, now this definitely looks like a Christmas cake to me, because it's a heavy fruit cake and it's got marzipan going on it and things. So I think I'm going to use this one, because that's the one that to me is real indication of a Christmas cake. Sorry, I couldn't think what I was trying to say there. I was printing, so that's the noise you probably could have heard in the background. Well, I think it's finished now. I've just been printing out a new Digi Kit from Paper Farms, ready for a new journal that I'm about to start. So it's obviously too big, so let's trim this down. Now obviously I don't want to lose all of her fingers, because we won't understand the image. We can definitely lose some off the bottom there. We could use a little bit off the top, so it's much more of a screenshot than a full photo. That works for me. Okay, so we can now put this, I want to put it smack bang in the middle. I want to go to the top. I think I'm going to go to the top a little bit, like that. Okay, now let's see if we can find another image, one that's maybe got cookies. That's a yeast cake. Although it might be nice to have the black and white image, mightn't it? Or do we keep looking, see if we can find one for, oh, shortbread. You nearly always have shortbread at Christmas, don't you? So let's go for that one. And another reason I like the idea of this is we've got, oh, I'll get this one out now. There we go. We've got 3 different lots of coloured paper there, which I think always adds further interest. I love shortbread. Do you make shortbread? I have made it in the past. Tends to be a bit too crumbly and not really stick together. So if you've got any bakers watching, you could maybe give me a hint as to why my shortbread crumbles rather than sticks together. And I'm pretty sure it's not the amount of butter that I'm using. I'm a bit James Martin when it comes to butter. Okay, now is that going to be small enough? Let's have a little look. I want the coloured one on top. Maybe that one sort of there. Don't want to lose all of the food images on the back, do we? Let's take another little bit off of there. And we could do both on this. We could have a bit off the side and a bit off the bottom. There's hardly any of the original picture left now, is there? I'll go in that side and then over on that side. We get a little bit more of those images. That pleases me. And then I was thinking what I need is a black felt tip. There's my black Sharpie, so that's going to work. Okay, so I've got my mucky board. Let's get some glue and let's stick these down. Now I'm actually going to glue the page for the first one because that Sears paper is very, very brittle, and we'll have all sorts of potential issues. So I'm just putting my glue stick on its side to get those edges in the hope that we don't go over, although of course we've gone over there. I have to leave it open for a little while, make sure it's dry. Oh, what is that on the back? Oh, poultry food. I suppose if you're raising chickens or the like, or as we're talking Christmas, turkeys. Okay, so we've got that page stuck down. Also when we look there, you see we've got the bright modern colours, the dull older vintage colours, and then we've got this muted colour here. It's a nice array, and then we go further onto this greeny and onto this reddy brown. So it's a nice overall open spread. That's one of the things I always try to do when I'm working. It's one of the reasons I love to have different sized papers, because I feel it makes that so much easier to do. So then I'm just going to glue this one down. This is the shortbread, and this is the one that I said would go this side to the bottom, but I want to see those 3 semi-full images, and then the shortbread's going to go on top. Oh, did you? I bet you were shouting at me, weren't you? That I've glued the wrong side. How stupid of me. Right, well that's definitely going to have to stay open now, isn't it? So that that glue can dry. Let's see if I can now get it off the mat. How stupid. It's because I'm talking and not thinking. Oh well. So I'm going to put that one on that side. like that. It'll just dry with a bit of a gloss to it now. In fact, I can probably rub most of it off. Anyway, there you go. So we've got our vintage food that we would be shopping. So I did think I'd be using images of gifts, but it's ended up being all food. But then Christmas really is all about food, isn't it? Baking and cooking and eating. So, coffee time. Now, what I thought was, because this is all vintagey, I mean, this cookery book is from the 40s, I think. So they're very, you know, old. And this is very, very old, obviously, the Sears book. So I thought, to represent the pools, because at the moment it doesn't really do anything, does it? What we could do is we could use the modern pools. You know, if you play a video or something, the triangle is play and the double line tends to be pools. So I'm thinking, let's use a pencil first of all, might be better. What I'm thinking is, if I put my ruler in the middle-ish of the page, like that, and I want to make sure I cover these two pictures. So, because of where I've got my ruler, I'm going to go from 17 to 20. Okay. Which is 8 to 6 3/4 basically. Okay, so I've got 2 pencil lines. So then bring them down. This one's a bit tricky because of course it's sticky now because I glued the wrong side. And then if I go there and there, I think that's right. And then I'll take my Sharpie and I'm just gonna, it's not very straight now, is it? Never mind. I'm gonna colour that in for the pool symbol that we now recognise in the modern world. That's one. And this is the second one. Oh, here comes Boo. And of course part of the reason I'm using a Sharpie is because it's about the only thing that's going to work on this glossy paper. So there you go, there's our pools lines. That is my interpretation of today's pools. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that actually. As always, thank you so much for popping along and spending some time with me today. Stay safe, I'll see you very soon. Bye bye for now.